I'm Carl Anthony, managing editor of AutoVision News, and welcome to AutoSense Insights. We are speaking today with Lorne Loudin. Lorne is a product manager for Labsphere. And Lorne, thank you for being with us today on the program.
Thank you for having me.
So, Lorne, tell us a little bit about Labsphere. Give us an overview of the company.
So Labsphere is recognized as the knowledge leader of test and calibration solutions for light measurement and imaging system sensors. And so imaging systems and sensors would include things like time of flight and LiDAR systems. And so we've been involved with those markets for quite some time, introducing new technologies to help manufacturers in tier one test and validate their sensor systems.
Of course. Now, Lorne, you mentioned two really big key words there, LiDAR and time of flight. So let's talk about targets and materials, and particularly with materials, spectra black, because I know our viewers will want to know more about that. So let's talk about targets and materials for LiDAR and time of flight. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so in the automotive industry, we have been helping LiDAR manufacturers improve the range sensitivity of LiDAR systems by supplying permaflex targets for several years now. And essentially, these are very commonplace in the industry nowadays. They are permaflex targets are durable, diffuse, near Lambertian reference reflectance targets. And all of those characteristics are very important when trying to understand the range sensitivity of a LiDAR system. Another thing that makes these targets so valuable is that they're available in a variety of grayscale reflectance values. So we offer them standard from 5% out to 94%. So what that allows LiDAR manufacturers and also time of flight manufacturers to do is test the performance of their LiDAR system or their sensing system at a variety of reflectances. And that gives them the opportunity to test their systems in real world scenarios. So they can see how, what is the typical reflectance of a brick and how well does their system detect that material and vice versa, or materials with that reflectance. And so in many cases, permaflex is used outdoors or in a range setting where people are testing automotive vehicles. And so the optical surface is being exposed to dust and debris, and that can actually, the dust and debris may change the reflectance through time. So you can simply clean that surface to restore the reflectance, but manufacturers and test engineers want to know they really want to know precisely what the reflectance of that material is when they're testing, because slight variations in measured reflectance can really have an impact on the predicted range of that sensing system. And so another thing that we've introduced to before I get into Spectra Black is a reflectometer, which is a handheld device that you can actually take in the field with you and measure the reflectance of your target in the field and bring that data back to your computer, analyze it so you understand the historical performance of that target, and then you can get a better understanding of your range sensitivity performance of that system. So another thing that we hear a lot about on our end is how do you test these systems at really low reflectances? And what I'm talking about here is about 1% reflectance. And so what we've done to help address that issue is we've introduced this material called Spectra Black. And so as you can see in the background, this is Spectra Black in front of a printed black surface, and there's a clear difference. It almost changes the color of that background the second something truly black goes in front of it. And what this is this is a 1% reflectant material that is ideal for near normal, indoor near normal testing of time of flight and sensing systems. So manufacturers and test engineers can get a really good understanding of the baseline near noise level of their sensing system. And so these are available in targets and as a material. And we just introduced these to the market about 3 months ago now.
You know, Lorne, I always enjoy interviewing you and other reps from Labsphere because I always think you have such remarkable innovations, and obviously the Spectra Black is proof of that. You do have another announcement, though. Let's talk about that as well. You've got one other additional announcement, so let's make sure that we cover that.
Okay. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, Labsphere is recognized as a knowledge leader in testing and calibration solutions for light measurement, as well as imaging systems and sensors. And so we have a wealth of expertise solving light measurement challenges. And since the onset of COVID, the pandemic, there has been a lot of interest in UVC disinfection. And with that interest there have been a lot of products that have come to market. UVC disinfectant products have come to market to help inactivate the virus, right? So one of the unknowns, however, is how effective are these tools that are being introduced to the market? And so Labsphere has introduced a new product called the SmartSense. And the SmartSense is just a digital UVC sensor. And this tool is used to validate the dose performance of UVC disinfection tools. And what this does is it ensures companies and individuals that the UVC products that are being used to disinfect the surface is actually putting off the stated energy. So it measures the light and lets you know that it's the irradiance of that light is producing the amount of dose needed to actually inactivate a viral or bacterial pathogen. And so that's really important from a quality standpoint and also customer assurance standpoint and a safety standpoint, more importantly.
Well, absolutely, Lauren. That's a great explanation. And as COVID continues on, SmartSense is a very innovative product. And certainly there will be dozens of use cases for that. As it relates to ADAS and next generation ADAS technologies, what is the benefit of SmartSense? How can SmartSense benefit the ADAS community?
So when we think about autonomous vehicle systems as a whole, right? Another area that is of growing interest is in-cabin sensing, okay? And in the automotive world, we are actually seeing a growing trend of UVC lights being used in vehicles because there has been an increase in consumer skepticism around ride-sharing services, and that skepticism is affecting consumer behavior. And so consumers have veered slightly away from ride-sharing vehicles more towards private vehicles where they feel healthier and safer in the comfort of their own vehicle. So one response has been introducing UVC disinfection lights into these ride-sharing vehicles. And for instance, there's one manufacturing partnership that took place over the summer in Indianapolis, where a group launched a autonomous ride-sharing service, and the vehicles actually included UVC disinfectant lights that would clean the shuttle between rides. So when the cabin was empty, UVC lights would turn on and it would actually disinfect the surfaces in that automobile. Additionally, there are other manufacturers who are looking at rolling out in-cabin UVC disinfection tools into their vehicle as a normal option you could think of. And so part of the reason why we're introducing SmartSense to that group is, especially in the ride-sharing area where you have people going in and out, you could have a nice feedback loop between a time of flight sensor where it senses that, hey, there's nobody in this car anymore. Let's turn on the UVC lights. As it's empty, the UVC lights kick on. Something like a UVC sensor, such as the SmartSense sensor, could actually start detecting the UVC light and providing information back saying, hey, we've reached the dose needed to inactivate these bacterial and viral pathogens. And so that's kind of the inspiration for introducing it to this community to complement the in-cabin sensing that's taking place and this trend in consumer behavior.
Well, Lauren, you're definitely ahead of the curve, and what a timely innovation for sure. Now, for our viewers who have more questions about SmartSense or any of the other things that we talked about, the targets and materials, what is the best way for our viewers to contact Labsphere to learn more information?
Yeah, so the easiest way to contact us is just through our website. Go on and fill out a contact form. We will be at AutoSens Brussels, obviously, and we, I will be there in person. We have a team that will be there in person. We'll have Spectra Black, the SmartSense, with us, and of course, we're always on our phones as well, so we can always be reached the traditional way through a phone call. But computers is the easiest way, I would think, and we're looking forward to that conversation, because one of the things we're doing with SmartSense is we want to start that conversation with how our SmartSense technology can be incorporated into the cabins, and we want to start that conversation. So
Absolutely, Lauren. And just as we wrap up here, is there anything you'd like to add? Any final thoughts before we close out the interview today?
Not particularly, just that we're looking forward to starting that conversation, seeing how our SmartSense technology can fit into the ride-sharing world and how it can be incorporated. It's still in its early stages, but it is a digital sensor that can communicate and be networked. And so we're looking forward to having that conversation with the automotive industry as things progress.
Viral, bacterial, and mold pathogens are everywhere. New pathogenic variants have brought to light the need to continuously disinfect air and surfaces and provide proof of efficient disinfection. Deep ultraviolet radiation, known as UVC, is high-frequency electromagnetic radiation that is invisible to the human eye and has the power to break down the DNA and RNA of viral and bacterial pathogens so they can no longer reproduce or cause illnesses. Ultraviolet germicidal irradiation, or UVGI, is a disinfection method that inactivates microorganisms using UVC irradiation. Fortunately, UVC lamps are available in multiple technologies, from traditional pressure lamps to more advanced UV LEDs. Manufacturers are rushing to market with UV disinfection lighting and enclosures. But are they effective? When is there enough dosage or too much? Your customers need to know. Labsphere SmartSense Solutions delivers real-time irradiance and dosage monitoring. We take out the guesswork so you can focus on your client's safety. You no longer need to rely on costly disposable analog solutions in the digital age. SmartSense wireless sensors are scalable. Imagine the possibilities and deliver confidence and assurance of pathogenic disinfection with real-time dosage reporting in a network disinfection monitoring system. Imagine improved efficiencies, reduced downtime, and realize maintenance cost savings with active feedback on your system's disinfecting components' performance. Imagine Labsphere's SmartSense UVC sensors and network. Schedule a call now to learn how we can take the guesswork out of viral disinfection, so you don't have to.
Lauren, it'll be exciting to watch how SmartSense technology evolves. And from all of us here at AutoSense, we're glad to be part of the journey. We want to wish you good luck going forward and safe travels to Brussels. And thank you for being on the program today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
For more great AutoSense content, visit our website or see our YouTube channel. Just search AutoSense.